Hello and welcome to the first episode of A Family in Focus. I'm your host, Pearl Harbour, and this is a podcast series that focuses on the significance, or sometimes insignificance, behind family photos. This week's episode, the restaurant. While researching the concept of the family photograph, I came across the theories of Marianne Hirsch, author of Family Frames. Hirsch explores the power and deception that family photographs hold. She argues that when we take family photos, we're aiming to capture an idealised image. But we don't always end up with the perfect photo, do we? What I found out even surprised me. When I decided to make a podcast about family photos, I was inspired by a personal family photo, but I didn't know its whereabouts. I rang my family, and none of them knew the photo I was describing, yet they all mentioned the restaurant photo. They all remembered that one, so I decided to find out why. But first, I'd like to introduce my family to you. My sister Diane, she's 5 years older than me.
No worries.
My brother Grant, who's 2.5 years older than me.
Grant, no, Grant, what are you doing? I'm recording.
Alright,
And my mother, Lucille.
look at me, look at my crow's
I am still recording, Mum.
I also interviewed my friend Casey, who is studying photography.
It is quite the perfect photo.
But while researching family photos, I discovered that Dipali Derwin and Jennifer Orpana, the authors of Family Photographs, argue that although family photographs are personal, they're also a part of a shared cultural custom. What they mean is every family has birthday photos, holiday snaps, and Christmas keepsakes of kids on Santa's laps. So, is my family photo not special? Maybe it's not. But let's see if my family can help describe it so that you can decide. This is where this exercise turned into a social experiment. Before I shared the photo with my family, I asked them first what they could remember about the photo. I began by asking them, where was the photo taken?
All I remember is that I think Papa took us out for dinner with Mum and Dad, and we all sat around this whopping big round table. I think it was Chinese or something that we had. Yes, we were out for lunch at the pub.
Grant surprised me and was able to remember a fair bit more than Diane and Mum.
Apparently it was the poshest restaurant in Ballarat, an exclusive restaurant.
Then I asked them to describe the photo.
And I was standing up in the middle of, I think, Grandma and Papa. I don't know now.
I think it was black and white and not much more. It's been a very long time since I've seen it.
Mum's memory has a bit of an alternative version.
There was Grandpa and Grandma, and you were about 8 or 9, and you were standing behind them, in between the two of them. And that was about it, I think. I can't remember anybody else being in it.
Now let's see whether they can remember what everyone was wearing.
Grant was made to wear a tie. I think Dad was in tie as well, and we all had our best outfits on.
No, I don't remember what I wore or what you girls wore.
Okay. What do you think you wore? So we've established that it was a fancy event.
Guessing I'd say safari suit.
Yes, I do remember you and Dad sporting matching safari suits at one point. It was the 70s.
Yep. Well, Dad would have had a suit coat on and a collar and tie. Mum would have had one of the dress-up dresses, I suppose. And you would have just had a dress on. Yeah, we're just in ordinary clothes.
And did they remember the special occasion that we were gathered for?
I just think it was just Grandma and Pa taking us out for a special occasion, but I can't remember what the occasion was because we all had to get dressed up that night and we never went out for dinner.
Yes, it was their 50th wedding anniversary.
Then I asked them why the photo was memorable.
Because of the dress I was wearing. It was a polka dot, black dress with orange polka dots. And I was standing up in the middle of, I think, Grandma and Papa. I don't know now. I don't remember. It's just a dress that sticks in my mind that I actually wore at the time.
I remember the photographer saying he's going to take the photo. He took it. Then, before I knew it, I thought I'd have a drink, and he's taken a second photo, and that's the one he published.
Grant sounds a bit like a criminal who has rehearsed many times over a carefully constructed alibi. At this point, I'd like to share some of my memories of this photo. Like my sister, I clearly remember what she was wearing. A black dress with orange polka dots, her favourite dress. I also remember us celebrating something relating to our grandparents, but I can't quite remember what. A birthday or maybe an anniversary. What I remember most about this photo relates to the story Grant just told, but I have a different recollection. I remember my brother telling me that he pulled a prank when the photo was taken. Let's call it Fakegate. He told me that he pretended he was about to have a drink when the photographer took the photo. I asked Grant for further comment.
Do you care to comment on that?
Now you've brought that up, it does sound kind of like it brings back a memory that I never remembered, but yeah, it does sound possible.
It's not quite a confession. I'll bring in my expert witness later, but for now, I'll ask Grant again why the photo was special.
In memory of their anniversary.
Was it special for you?
Oh yeah, because I was involved. I was there while history was made.
Yes, that's right.
It's quite interesting to see what my family remember about this photo. Now let's see what their reactions are after I show them the photo. But bear in mind, this is a photo that's been buried, but clearly not forgotten, in the pages of a family album. Apart from me, no one has seen this photo recently, and it would be decades since my brother has seen it. But he actually remembered something that only he and I remembered. He also remembered who the photographer was. But first, let's see how everyone else's memory of the photo compares to the reality of the photo. Is it time to take off those rose-coloured glasses?
Oh, cool. Yeah, my top is all gathered.
Yeah, look at those puffy sleeves.
Yeah. And I was standing in the middle of Grandma and Papa.
You were?
Grant didn't have a tie on.
No.
All down. And Mum's in a summer dress. So we're all in summer clothes.
Yeah, well, I'm wearing a summer dress.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like white background and flowers.
Yep.
And your father's in like a sports shirt. You're in I think it was a brownie coloured dress with light stripes or flowers or something through it. Dad's in his collar and tie and...
Summer clothes. This could be an important note to remember for later.
Yeah, I can see it. I don't remember the shirt. It's not what I thought I was wearing.
No, what you're wearing is actually a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Everyone has noticed Grant in this photo, including Casey, our photographic expert. So let's touch again on Fakegate.
Like I say, you're in the back. I can remember that. Grant here is on the side pulling faces.
Grant looks like, oh my God, what's happening here type of look.
Well, your brother kind of looks like he wasn't quite ready for the photo. So he's got his cup sort of halfway to his face and he looks a little bit surprised or like he was about to talk or something. So he just doesn't look quite ready for the photo.
Diane is still adamant about where we had dinner.
But it definitely looks like it was Chinese because there's a Chinese type of basket in front of Mum.
Mum is starting to have her doubts.
I don't know that it was a regular pub lunch because the table's got a tablecloth, white tablecloth on that. So I don't know where it would have been.
But now let's play a game of Who Took the Photo? This is something that makes the photo very special to me. So I'm going to offer $1 million to our contestants if they can guess the correct answer. Diane and Lucille, who wants to be a millionaire? Come on down, jump in the hot seat. It's time to take the hard quiz. Can you tell us who took the photo?
I think it would have been a waiter or a waitress that took the photo.
Probably me, I suppose.
Are those your final answers, ladies?
It must have been one of the pub staff.
I'm sorry, ladies. The answer is, it was a professional photographer. I distinctly remember this, and so does my brother. Okay, Grant, can you reveal to our contestants why a professional photographer was taking our photo?
To celebrate the 50th and have it put in the newspaper.
Sorry, Diana, Mum, but you won't go away empty-handed. Oh, sorry, yes you will. But do you have any final thoughts?
I think we were just out, as you say, celebrating their anniversary or something. And the local photographer from the pub or somewhere. Yeah, but I can definitely remember the photo.
I love your haircut too. Bowl cut.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely.
You had that style for a long time too.
Okay, well, enough about me and my ability to rock a bowl cut. Let's turn our attention back to Fakegate. The prosecutor would like to call to the stand our expert witness Casey to see what she thinks about Grant's alibi.
Well, you do get these things. Your brother was being cheeky.
When I presented Grant with my evidence of Fakegate, he sang like a canary.
Quite possibly I did stay to drink.
Oh.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I kind of remember saying something about it, but
Yeah.
it's been such a long time I never thought about it. Since I ever thought about it.
So you can see in the photo now that it does, to me, it looks like it's staged. What do you think?
It does, yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to confess, Grant?
I do remember the food. I didn't quite like it.
Was it too fancy?
Yes, I'd say so.
Well, I think you're forgiven because you have been remarkable in remembering a lot of things about this photo. But why was a photographer taking a photo for the newspaper? I had a feeling it was due to a combination of what we were celebrating and who was celebrating. You see, this photo was taken in Ballarat, a regional town in Victoria. My grandfather was a rather successful businessman there, so I think it was newsworthy that he and my grandmother were celebrating a 50th wedding anniversary. But is that the case? I now have my doubts about how reliable my own memory is. But there is a clue hidden in plain sight. The clue is actually what we are wearing in the photo. Summer clothes. You see, my grandparents' wedding anniversary was in February, so that time of year would match our attire. And a 50th wedding anniversary is certainly a reason to celebrate. But now I need to prove it. I need to find this newspaper article. This did not prove to be easy. I knew Mum always kept newspaper clippings in a scrapbook, but once she moved into an aged care home, it was no longer in her possession. I refused to believe that her newspaper scrapbook would have been thrown out. Did I have it? I spent an afternoon searching for it, but no luck. I asked my sister if she might have ended up with it, but she had her doubts, and not only that, she recently moved and hadn't fully unpacked. It could be in any of the umpteen boxes stored sitting in her garage. Determined to find this newspaper article, I tried finding it online and had no luck there. But then a small miracle happened. Diane just happened to unpack the box with Mum's scrapbook, and she found the article. There we are, in grainy black and white glory. We're in the Ballarat Courier, the Tuesday, February 13, 1979 edition. But my memory did let me down. It wasn't exactly an article about my successful businessman grandfather, and it wasn't their 50th wedding anniversary either. But 44 years of marriage is still worth celebrating. We're on page 18 in the Wine and Dine column. Mum was right. It was probably just luck that we wound up having our photo taken. The newspaper photographer was probably canvassing the restaurant looking for celebrations to cover in the Wine and Dine column. Or maybe it was the restaurant who had approached the newspaper. I googled the restaurant name, La Scala, and made an interesting discovery. Once again, my brother had come up with the goods. It was an Italian restaurant which had opened in 1976. In 2016, the owner, Luigi Bazzani, was awarded the Order of Australia in recognition of his commitment to the food and wine tourism industry. We all remember this picture for trivial reasons. We don't all remember the details of the photo or the occasion, but I'm not going to pursue any more convictions from my unreliable witnesses, myself included. In Sri Katini Leith's book called Reading Photography, she has observed that photos are similar to the way our memory works, in that it's more of a reconstruction than an exact reproduction. And it's often the case that the significance and context of a photo can alter over time. In addition to this, memories can have an unconscious bias, so it will depend on an individual's perception of a photo to determine its significance. I may now have my answers after interviewing my family, but am I satisfied with their replies? To be honest, no, I'm not. I wanted deeper responses. I wanted us all to have deeper connections to this photo and the people in it. So I peeled back the superficial layers of importance that my siblings have of this photo, and I found a reason based on something my mother mentioned. When I asked Mum why she thought this photo was special, she told me this.
Well, I think it probably was the last photo we all had taken together. Was it?
Before what?
Well, before one of them or both of them died.
By the end of 1979, my grandfather had died. And then in early 1980, my grandmother died. Once again, our family has reframed the truth because we say Grandma died of a broken heart. It's quite a romantic concept, but it's also medically correct because she died from a heart attack just 8 weeks after her husband of 44.5 years died. Why do I think this photo is so important? I had built it up to have an air of importance worthy of a newspaper article, but that theory was mostly debunked. It's the type of innocuous photo everyone has in their family album, the extended family celebrating an event, which confirms there's nothing special about it per se. But it is special. To me and my family, as my mother identified, this is the photo that would have been the last good photo of all of us together before both my grandparents died. My family may remember this photo because a favourite dress brings a young girl joy and a young boy's prank brings a chuckle. However, I think, deep down on a subconscious level, we all know the reason this photo is special. But we chose to manipulate our memories in a way that kept the sadness at bay. A Family in Focus was written and produced by Pearl Harbor. Music was by Pixabay.com, Caffeine Creek Band and Symphony. Thank you for listening, and to see the restaurant photo, please visit pearlharbortheperson.com.au.